Welcome back everyone. The iPhone 13 Pro just ended up coming out and I have yet to actually do a full camera comparison between these two, and I actually butchered this one, so I was only able to take a couple photos between them that are similar. So this is a quick one. I will do a full one probably at some point, but I do want to get some of these things out for you guys. Now here's the thing, the difference in my opinion from an iPhone 12 Pro to an iPhone 13 Pro, there is such a minor difference that I wouldn't even freak out about it too much. For my quality test that I did, yes, the 13 Pro photos look better, but there's so much similarity between them, to be completely honest. They both can do 4K at 60 on the back and the front. The sensors are overall bigger on the iPhone 13 Pro, which is really cool, but you have the same video resolutions, and if you're doing things like TikTok videos, Snapchats, different things like that, you're going to be getting pretty much the same type of quality and same type of capability. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. But if you are somebody who wants to get the latest and greatest camera, definitely getting the 13 Pro is the better way to go in my opinion, but the 12 Pro is still a very good camera too. So you can even see from the camera UIs and everything, pretty much the same feature. The iPhone 13 Pro does have cinematic mode, which is a really cool feature. It really is like portrait mode for video, which is really cool, and I actually like that a lot. But if you don't plan on ever doing it, then these cameras are very, very similar. So starting off with some of these basic photos that I took, again, there's only a couple of them and a video, so keep that in mind. That's why this video is pretty short. You can see that we actually have, so the 12 Pro photos are on the left, the 13 Pro photos are on the right, and looking at this first photo, there isn't anything super crazy that I can kind of tell. It looks like, now I did tap to focus on all of these. Now it does look like the iPhone 12 Pro actually blurred out a little bit of the photo better than the 13 Pro. If I zoom into this bulb in the middle, I kind of get the vibe that the 12 Pro blurred out a lot more of the background, but it really depends on which one do you like. Do you like the blurred out background, or do you like the actual photo itself being kind of in focus? Looking at the side here again, I mean, a good thing about the 13 Pro is that it kept it in focus, but it also kept everything else in focus too. So there's no Boko Mode, but I think that's kind of a glitch. I'm not too sure why that happened. Apple may have fixed it by now, but I think it's not a problem at all. You can see with these things too, everything's in focus. So not really a big problem, but it's definitely not a big deal. Now this next photo is actually pretty interesting. So you can see again the same type of thing, no bokeh mode on either one of these, or not really on the iPhone 13 Pro. I did tap to focus on this middle portion, so keep that in mind. And both did a pretty good job, but when I zoom in, you can kind of see that for some reason, the iPhone 13 Pro, I think this photo looks a little bit better. Especially when you look at this line right here, it doesn't seem like it's that in focus on the iPhone 12 Pro. Kind of zooming down a little bit into like that little area where the paint kind of dripped, you can kind of see a little bit more sharpened on the 13 Pro as well, but you really have to zoom in to kind of see these things. Like, I don't really see a big difference right out the gate. So is that a big deal to you? It kind of depends. Again, I like the bokeh mode on the 12 Pro. I don't know why it wasn't happening on the 13 Pro. They were on the same photo mode. So maybe it has something to do with, I don't think it has anything to do with the aspect ratio. So that was very interesting. Now this next one I took literally of just a brick wall. It was a very, very basic photo, and kind of looking at, I mean, I can immediately tell you there is a little bit of a difference. The 13 Pro photo looks much more sharpened, and this is the type of photo that I like. The 12 Pro photo doesn't look bad, like it actually looks pretty good, but I do like a darkened photo. I do like, kind of a sharpened photo when it comes down to it. And when you look at these two bricks side by side, I mean, you can definitely see there's a difference. It kind of looks like two different walls. And if you look, you can tell there's a huge contrast between the 13 Pro photo and the 12 Pro photo as well. So if you're somebody who likes a lot of sharpened up photos, then the iPhone 13 Pro may be a better way to go in my opinion. Now, lastly, this is a ugly photo. I'm talking about a horrible photo. I took it in really, really bad lighting just to kind of get a glimpse of both type of photos. And I don't really think I have a preference here. So again, they were taken at the same time. And looking in the middle, I mean, there's definitely a lot of dust you can see on both. I don't really think one did a better job. I kind of like the lighting the iPhone 12 Pro kind of brought to the table, but I don't think it's even good on either one of these. And even when you look at something like the hair that's kind of stuck here, I think the 12 Pro may have done a little bit of a better job by keeping that at least in a little bit more detail. If I go ahead and zoom in here, if I go and zoom in here, to me, it kind of looks like the iPhone 12 Pro did a better job at kind of lightening up the whole entire photo, making it look a little bit better. But I really don't have a preference here, and I think both of them did a pretty good job. But I think the 12 Pro may have done better in lower lighting conditions. Now, I do have this video that I made, and it's nothing super crazy. I'll go ahead and mute it. And the 13 Pro here, 12 Pro here, and both did a pretty good job here too. Again, I just don't really see too many differences. I think the major difference is probably that cinematic mode. Having that type of cinematic mode capability is cool. We have the same type of sensors on both as well. So we have, ultra wide telephoto and wide angle lens. And even from this little camera comparison that I did, and after using these phones, I used the 12 Pro for a year, over a year now, or almost a year now, and the 13 Pro for several months, I can definitely tell you I like both phones. The 13 Pro is probably the better camera when it comes down to it, but the iPhone 12 Pro camera is still very good, and I think that's still a pretty good option for you. If you don't care about cinematic mode, then I'd probably say stick with the 12 Pro. The camera modules aren't really that big of a difference, so kind of keep that in mind, but that's kind of how I see it for now. So if you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that means so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.